Okay, it's been about a week since we installed the Cargo Master Safari rack on the Jeep, and I just wanted to give a quick review of the installation and what I think after the first week. If you're running into this video by itself and you want to watch the installation, the link will be down in the description. Okay, overall installation was really easy. It took us 3 hours, and that included moving the camera around and positioning things, and we took our time, and we just kind of enjoyed the nice day because it's winter. And it only took us 3 hours. And that also included putting on the catwalk and the roof pack, which aren't part of the actual rack kit. So 3 hours total. So definitely if you allow 3 hours in time, you should have plenty of time to do it. And everything's pretty straightforward. Instructions suck, but it's all self-explanatory. I would have a second person with you to hand stuff over. Seems easy. They don't have to be real mechanically inclined or really have to do anything other than catching in or carrying in for you. And that's in individual pieces, it's fairly light. So, but I would definitely try to. You could do it by yourself. I could have done it by myself, but it was a lot easier having Keaton help me. My only problem with the installation came from my Jeep is the front hoop and the catwalk mount to the hinge screws of the windshield. And I don't know if it's because I used a rattle gun or if because it was just already a pre-existing problem, but one of those spun loose on me, and because of that, the bolt can't be tightened or loosened. I don't know what I'm gonna do to fix it yet. Right now I just kind of put some tape around it, shoved it in the hole so it held tight, because there is a bolt on there. It's not gonna come all the way out. But again, that's not the rack's fault. It's not Cargo Master's fault. It was a problem with the Jeep. On the installation side, the only thing that I was super unhappy about was none of the bolts are powder coated or painted. Everything's silver. They come in a bag from Fastenal with a sticker on them that say Cargo Master. So it's the same thing that we could buy anywhere. Painting it seems like a simple thing, right? I could just rattle can it, but that stuff never turns out well. And if you want it to turn out well, you have to really do a lot of prep work, and I'm not gonna do all that work on the screws. Like that's out. It'd take longer to actually prep those appropriately than it did to install the rack. And I think at this price point, I expect more. You should too. So I'd be aware of that it's going to come like that. Either set aside the time and the energy to paint those things, or just don't order the rack. But overall, the installation was easy. Quality of the product I feel is on par. The rack itself, the powder coating was great. Everything feels heavy duty. I like the 2-inch look and feel, and it was great. I wasn't careful with anything installing it. I was smacking it with wrenches and stuff. Nothing scratched. It got normal rubs marks like it would. And then when we took it out driving, I took it through brush and timber, and we strapped stuff to the roof. And I wasn't careful with it. I treated it like it was a couple of years old, and nothing scratched, nothing wore through, and so it held up. Like, given it was only a week, but I was pretty rough with it, and all the powder coating and stuff held up pretty well. The catwalk itself, I love that thing. Keaton walked across it to put the rack on and to put stuff on the roof, and it worked out well. It worked out perfect. It held his weight. He's 200 pounds, give or take, and it handled it just fine. Super happy with that. The roof pack, the basket on top of it. If you watched or are watching the installation video, the thing looks chintzy, right? Like I'm picking it up and moving it and flipping it around. And I want you to be aware that that's how it's supposed to be. It's advertised as a lightweight option for a roof basket. It is just that. It's super lightweight. Now the bars that mount it to the rack and that you can strap to, they're pretty heavy duty. They're like 3/16 steel. And those are like heavy duty, which is what you'd want to be heavy duty. The basket itself is super thin aluminum, so it doesn't weigh anything, right? It's super light. I'm actually really pleased with that. Again, it looks worse than it is, but be aware that that's what you're getting is a lightweight option. Don't expect some heavy duty piped, tubed grr of a basket. It's a lightweight option. Mine's probably gonna hold my spare tire till I can afford a bumper to hold the extra weight of my spare tire. But, I'm really happy with what that is, so don't be misled by that. The only other big concern I know people have is wind noise. I didn't notice any new wind noise. I did a minimal amount, but it was very minimal. I've had other racks on other vehicles and other Jeeps, and I've noticed a lot more wind noise. The wind noise on this seemed to be very minimal. I don't know why. I don't know if it's thicker tubing, what it is, but it was minimal. The little handles on the front hoop seem to be the biggest source of wind noise, and I noticed that basically when I rolled down the window more. And we took it down the interstate, so I did 85, 80, 85, 75. The speed limit was 75. I was doing 75 in it, and I didn't notice any wind noise. Like, again, I did notice wind noise, but I didn't notice any more than I would with anything else, and it was nothing that drove me nuts. I was actually super impressed with the lack of increased wind noise. So I think that's a definite thumbs up for the rack. The other thing to be super aware of is that this rack is the 2-inch piping. Because of the way it's designed, most of the things that bolt onto it are going to be proprietary. So it's not as easy as going to other manufacturers and buying a bunch of parts to bolt stuff onto the rack. And if you do want to do that, you have to order more stuff from Cargo Master so you can mount normal crossbars on it and stuff like that. So it's going to be additional costs. So be aware that going into it, that you're not going to be able to mount things to it like you might some other racks. Because that could be a big turnoff because it's a lot of expense, or you have to manufacture those things. I have an ARB awning that I want to put on, and I'm having to manufacture all the brackets and stuff to mount that, but I knew about that ahead of time. But so you should be aware of that ahead of time, that you're not gonna be able to mount stuff to it as easy, and that might be a huge turnoff, because who wants to mess with that, and some people want to mess with it. So I wanted this look, I like the aesthetics, and then I do like that it's so modular, but it's a give or take there in that department. All of that said, I will never ever order anything from Cargo Master ever again. Cargo Master Safari sent this rack to me 4 times. That's not an exaggeration. I'm not trying to be impactful with that. Literally 4 times that rack showed up. And the problem is they weren't sending parts. And it is actual like parts. Like this isn't, I ordered it through Extreme Terrain, but it was showing up without parts. Like major parts, components, big things that you need to install the rack. If it happened one time, that's a one-off thing, and I can be forgiving of that. Extreme Terrain was understanding, and they did send the stuff to me and work with me as best they could to fix the issue. I wasn't super happy with them just because it was coming from them, but they also didn't act surprised that it was coming from Cargo Master, right? And after all this ordeal, 3 months long, I'm okay with Extreme Terrain. I think they handled it appropriately and dealt with me appropriately, but I will never order Cargo Master again because the stuff showed up with Cargo Master logo on it, strapped with black. It was coming from Cargo Master incomplete, right? And then they were just shipping it to me. And that's super disappointing. Again, if it happened one time, one off, 4 times is ridiculous. And even the rack that you actually saw installed, or that I got installed, didn't have all the parts in it. I had to go and cannibalize one of the ones that I hadn't sent back yet. Again, it's super ridiculous. I'll never order from them again. That combined with the bolts all being just silver crap bolts, it just nothing, it takes away from the aesthetics of the whole thing, and that's irritating to me. I think at this price point we could expect more, and from a company I definitely expect to get the parts that I ordered, and it shouldn't take 3 months to get a rack that's ordered. It definitely shouldn't take 4 tries to get all the parts to you. So they're literally just throwing these things in boxes and shipping them out to people. That's my opinion. Do your own research if you can order from them. See if I'm a limited experience. My research has said that that's not a limited case, but look into it before you go. But if you do decide to go with them, I think you are getting a good quality product. And yeah, just be aware of the biggest thing is going to be that stuff doesn't mount to it very easily. So be aware of that. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, guys and gals. Whatever. Thanks for watching, guys, gals, everybody. I'm gonna have to cut all that out. So when you see me do this, I just cut out a bunch of stuff by ramblings. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. I did it again. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a thumbs down. Either way, leave a comment, right? So I know what's going on. I'm just a fat old bald guy, right? But I enjoy doing this, and I want to do some more, and I'd like to get better at it because I like to be as good as I can at everything that I endeavor to do. So if you leave comments and stuff, explaining to me what I'm doing right and wrong, makes things a lot better. If you have questions, write them down there. I'll get to them. If not, I got Keaton on that, and Keaton helps with everything. So we'll get you your answers that you need and go from there. Thanks for watching.